Hey everyone, happy Monday and welcome to Ask the Agent. I am so excited that I have another amazing opportunity to speak with individuals that are part of the village. My name is Sharina George and I am your Central Florida Realtor. For you guys who are tuned in for the first time, I know you're wondering, what's Ask the Agent? What's the big hoopla? I posted on Facebook that we're going to be live. I messaged everyone in my brokerage that we're going to be live. I even messaged family and friends that listen on Monday at 6. I'm going to be live. What is all of this about, Sharina? Well, Ask the Agent is an opportunity to take those in the village real estate community and give us an opportunity to answer your questions. If you're looking to buy a home, if you're looking to sell a home, many times you place that question in Google, it spits out thousands of answers, right? Those answers are in need of interpretation. Those answers are many times in need of clarification. So here on Ask the Agent, this is your opportunity to receive the answers to your questions. Who's a part of the real estate village? When you go to buy or to sell a home, you have your real estate agent, insurance, contractors, mortgage, the broker. You have so many different pieces and parts of all of us working together in business to ensure that you get the most value for your home on the selling end and that it's priced accurately. And then on the buying end, we want to make sure that the neighborhood that you're looking in. Do you want 4 bedrooms? What is the square footage? What is the price that you've been approved for? So that is our job as real estate agents to bring all that together and then to bring those who are in the village together to help you. So tonight, I have some amazing individuals who are part of my village. So at this time, I'm going to start to bring them on one at a time. Okay. All right. So first, you guys, I have my broker, Ellen. Hey, Ellen. How are you this evening?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on. I also have Roger in insurance, who was a part of the village. How are you, Roger?
Awesome.
Awesome. I see that you're deep in paperwork over there, working hard for your clients,
Yep,
right?
that's right.
Awesome. And then last but certainly not least, I have Trishelle Crawford in mortgage. How are you?
I'm well.
Awesome. Awesome. So tonight, you guys, we encourage live questions. Live questions are encouraged tonight. I'm going to refresh my screen over here so that I can see your live questions. Okay. Let me just make sure that we are live. Okay. All right. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to your live questions on this evening. But we're going to start off talking a little bit about who we are so that as your questions fuel in tonight, you'll know what part of the village is in front of you. So we're going to start with Trishelle. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your area of expertise.
My name is Trishelle Crawford. I am a part of the Crawford lending team at Geneva Financial. I am a loan officer. I help you get the money you need to purchase your home.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Roger, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hello, everyone. I actually do insurance for your home, your car, your RV, your motorcycle, your boat, your business, E&Os, commercial policies. We do everything. So,
Awesome.
any questions
Awesome.
you have on property and casualty, life, or health, let me know.
Awesome. I love it. And then Ellen, my broker here at Watson Realty Corp. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Ellen Tennell, and I'm the broker of our Champions Gate office down past Disney. And I've been the broker in our office since about 2010 and been a broker with Watson since 2005 and or been with Watson since 2005. Our company's been around for over 50 years. So we're doing something right. And it's in part because of good people like Sharina and bringing the village together.
Yes, bringing us together. And speaking of that, I'm going to start with my first topic that I have wrote down for us today. Working together is so important. I think it's not about being in competition, but being able to complement one another. I love how pre-show you guys, we have an opportunity to have conversation. And I love when we were talking to Trishelle, when we were talking about you guys out there getting approved for your loan that sometimes that lender denies you, right? Many times it's not that you don't qualify, maybe you don't qualify with them. So working together is very important and really cultivating a team environment. So we're going to start with you, Ellen. At your office, how do you work to cultivate a team atmosphere with agents? I know with agents, we're subcontractors, everyone kind of in their own world, focusing on their own things. How have you decided to cultivate a team atmosphere at Watson?
It has been easy because of the folks that we've hired on board. Everybody's from different parts of the world and all trying to work together. Like you said, it's not necessarily a competition. And if it is, it's fun. But it's trying to, we said it the other day with one of the teams, you know, putting your feet in other people's shoes. What do, how do others want to be treated? And all working together because you're dealing with a huge monetary value for everyone in the world. This is a huge transaction that they're going to be placing in your hands to help them with. So we all need to work together and treat each other the way that we want to be treated, and that's pretty much the whole concept. And I have been fortunate because of the fact that we've had such wonderful agents come on board, want to be trained, and get out there and help others.
I really appreciate what you just said because I sat in a training years ago that said when you're trying to promote and to push your company, it's not about filling this potential client ears with everything that your competitor is not doing, but it's talking about what you are doing. You are cultivating an atmosphere of healthy competition. You are promoting an atmosphere where agents can come alongside you as the broker and really thrive. Trishelle, in mortgage and lending, with the company you've chosen to align yourself with, Geneva Financial, how have you found a team, atmosphere being cultivated?
They do an excellent job of teamwork. The biggest thing about Geneva, which is a little bit rare in our industry, is it's really based on relationships. And even though we have all of the latest technology to make the process very easy for our borrowers, we do not take out the human touch. So it's home loans by humans. So it's a we have an open door policy, so I can talk to the CEO if I need to. If I can message them right now and speak to them if I have to. I have a team that works with me, so I'm not a lone ranger doing everything by myself. I have in-house underwriting, I have in-house processing, we have in-house assistants that's tailored just to me and my team, so we can get things done fast. I can actually close loans in 10 days if need be. It really happens. And if I have a question, I can get an answer right away. I don't have to wait for an outside source or an outside underwriter that works for another company to get back to me to answer that question. I can get that answer right now if I need to. So having a good team, people who are willing to help you, everybody jumping the extra mile to get the deal done is super important, where you're never put on the back burner. And the whole goal is to get the deal done as fast as possible with no problems.
I love it. I love it. That's really amazing that you have opportunity to be able to connect with those in the commercial department if needed, the CEO if needed. That it sounds like your team makes themselves available to you. And I think that's what really makes a team thrive. I remember when I worked in corporate America, while I would be interviewing, my main interview question for the interviewer was, how's the team culture here? That was so important to me that we find ourselves working together in healthy competition, but really looking out for one another. Roger, how have you cultivated a team atmosphere in your insurance business?
In the insurance business, we are a little bit different on the way that we operate. We don't have office people. We actually have everything is outsourced. So we don't have them in the office, but we still are on the on communications all the time, as far as somebody handling customer service, somebody handling the quotes, somebody talking to help people in understanding what insurance is, helping understand what claims are, helping understand what's going on in our market right now, which is just about crazy, and a lot of people don't understand it. The pricing increases, the changes in underwriting, the replacement cost estimators. They just don't understand the fact of why it all went up. And but the team atmosphere is still there because we between the people that are in the whole insurance in my office, as far as I'm the only one in my office, everybody is actually outside of my office, so we communicate electronically on almost everything. So our communication system is set up that way. So for anything needs to be done, there's somebody to answer that question. Um, but after 30 years, you kind of get to a point to where you actually want to see what else can be done, which could be better. So there's always changes coming,
Yeah.
especially with what's going on in the industry right now.
Yes, always so many changes going
Hmm.
on, and your ability to adapt and your openness to adapt is really amazing, Roger. I love how you really take a lot in the village and connect them. Even when I met you at the event with Citywide Investments and Young Sharks, you were talking about others that you're connected with and how involved you are with not just your company, but others. So I love that team atmosphere, even from that perspective as well, that it's not just about insurance. The warehouses and your print, your marketing, you've done some work even with mortgage. You're always looking to connect people. So I was thinking, you guys were thinking about the village and thinking about those who are tuned in. You walk up to Watson and you are in the market to buy. You come through the door and you meet me, Sharina George, and you start to work with me through this process. And all of a sudden, you see on the paperwork Ellen. And you're like, well, Sharina, I haven't seen someone named Ellen. Who is this Ellen person? Well, Ellen is my broker. Ellen, talk to us a little bit about the broker's position in the transaction.
Basically, I want to make sure that everything is all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that everything is progressing the way that it should be. But the key is that I oversee. So uh, basically, the proofreader of things, just reassuring everyone that they can come to me if there's questions to be asked. But again, it's the agent who is the ringmaster of the show.
Mm, I get it. So just making sure the pieces and the parts are coming together good. We're in there orchestrating things. We're in there pointing, giving directions, making sure we show the appropriate homes that you wanted to see as our buyer and as our broker. Just making sure the paperwork that goes out, everything is signed appropriately. Initials are where they're supposed to be, and even coming to you, Trishelle, with working together as the village. That person who walked through the door many times haven't been pre-approved, but as an agent, we aren't turning them away. What is the next step upon getting approved? What are some things that people who are thinking about buying need to take into account when they come to a real estate agent to buy a home?
So first of all, if someone is thinking about buying a house, the
Mhm.
first thing they should do is get pre-approved, because most agents, the majority of agents, won't show you any homes unless you're pre-approved, and there's very good reason for this, because you can't put an offer in. Most sellers want a pre-approval because they want to know that they're not wasting their time and that you can actually purchase this deal, that we have something, that you're a qualified buyer. So the first thing to do is get qualified. If you go to a realtor first, that realtor is going to send you to, going to recommend a lender for you to get pre-qualified or pre-approved, so that they know what price range we're looking in and we can start showing homes. And if you find one you want to buy, we can put an offer in right away and be competitive.
So they don't need to do this prior to seeing the real estate agent, but it is recommended that they go ahead and contact the lender should they know one, or, the sister of the cousin of the friend of the brother type of person, just to make sure they know what they're approved from. And I like how you said a lot of real estate agents, you guys who are listening, please listen. The real estate agent, it isn't that they don't want to work with you. They just want to make sure that the homes that they are showing you, you can afford this home. You can decide to put in an offer if you want to, but if you're not approved and you're like, well, just show me some homes anyway. I really just want to see what's in the area. It's technically, I don't want to say a waste of time, but there's time involved in there for that agent. And we don't know if you're approved for 500,000, 700,000, or 300,000. So it really does make our job a little more difficult to be able to find the home that you're looking for when we haven't quite, known what you're approved for.
And you wouldn't want your buyer to miss out on a deal in the market,
Yeah.
because you may be able to qualify for a home, but you haven't gotten that letter yet.
Yeah.
And you ready to put an offer in, but the other agent is going to say, hey, we got the contract, but within 24 hours, I need that pre-approval. Well, what if it takes 48 hours for you to get that pre-approval? You missed out on a deal. Someone else could be getting the house that you absolutely love because you went shopping without being pre-approved first.
And a lot of times we aren't going into the store with a credit card and we don't know how much is on it. So your lender basically gives you this figurative credit card for you to be able to swipe for this home. Now, I know a part of the process, we talked about the broker, we talked about mortgage. So with insurance, Roger, what are some important things that those who are looking to buy need to take into account when it comes to insurance, especially right now in 2023?
They don't take into account as far as how much it costs for insurance when they buy a house. Well, more than that, it's mostly the sellers that don't understand that what they have to do to get the house prepared for sale for insurance companies to take it. For example, the roof has to be at least less than 20 years old, and it has to have at least 5 years of life left on it. Two, they must not have any polybutylene piping. Three, on the electrical, you can't have double tapping, you can't have aluminum wirings. So there's a myriad of things that we look at as far as just to issue insurance. So everybody's got to get prepared before they even put the house on the market to see what needs to be done, and then come from the other side for the buyer side to make sure that then they can actually, when they do their 4 point and they win mid, everything comes out clean, so that then they'll be able to get insurance. But then the cost depends on how much you're buying it for. So, and the
So give us
replacement
a
cost of the
scenario.
house. Say, for example, the house is like maybe 2,000 square feet. That's going to be at least a replacement cost of about $315,000. So, depending on where they are, but mostly about 315. So you issue a policy, and then the lender says we need more coverage. Now they can't do that anymore. They cannot tell you how much to insure a house for. It has to be insured for replacement costs set by the insurance industry, not by the lender side. So a lot of the lenders are not aware of that. That's actually an offense against them, in if a complaint is filed. So that's known as coercion. So a lot of everybody's learning about all this stuff now, so they're not actually crossing lines and stuff like that. But it's an easier process now than it was before. But of course, we don't have. We just had two more companies pull out of Florida because of what's going on. So we just have to wait and see if there's going to be any relief in the next year or so, if the laws change, which I don't know if that's going to happen either at this point. So we'll have to wait and see. Too many things up in the air, too many variables.
But with that said, that at least gives our sellers, it sounds like it gives them an opportunity to really check that wiring that you just spoke about
Correct.
prior to contacting an agent, prior to getting it on the market. Is it suggested from the insurance side? for them to get some type of official, semi-official, I guess, inspection
You
on their
can.
home prior to listing it, just to make sure things
Well,
are ready?
they can, as long as it can be assigned to the new buyer,
Okay.
because that'll be the easiest thing. I mean, the wind mitigation, yes. I mean, but the thing about it, it still has to be in the name of the buyer to be able to be acceptable for some of the companies. There's actually maybe two, three companies that are writing in Central Florida right now. Citizens being the main one, because if you go over 5 years, yeah, there's nobody wants to actually write that than Citizens, because that's what's going on.
And the
So I don't
insurance. So
know. Right. So with that being said, I don't know. Like I said, there's too many variables. You know, it's one of the well, it's gotten easier than the lending side, because the lending side has got issues of its own because of underwriting changes too. But there's a lot of stuff going on there. But we'll just have to wait and see one by one.
but if they contact you, Roger, you can definitely give them some information based on the insurance that they need and what it is that they're trying to insure.
Most definitely, yes. We can actually
Awesome.
talk about it and say, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to get done, this has to be done, so on and so forth. Even this is like, I mean, farmers that just pulled out, that's over 100,000 people that's going to be losing not just the home, but possibly the auto as well. AAA just pulled out. That's home and auto. So everybody's going to be losing that. So you're talking about over 200, 300,000 people that's going to be without insurance, within the next year or so. And then there's no other options.
I will call
So
Roger, and I'm pretty sure there'll be, some insurance options left for you guys. So thank you so much for that, Roger. So I was thinking when you were talking, Roger, I was thinking about the home buying process, Ellen, and I was thinking about seller concessions. And when I had an opportunity to look up seller concessions, just to make sure that I give you guys an accurate definition, remember, to those who are out there watching live, please answer your questions. Trishelle is excited to answer them. Ellen is excited, as well as Roger, to answer your live questions. So write down there in the comments. This is your time to get your live questions answered. We just start off talking a little bit about real estate related things that are going on here in Florida, but feel free to type your questions below and I will answer those, ask those right here on live. So seller concession is the cost the seller agrees to pay to assist the home buyer and move listing to a successful closing. The seller concessions can range from closing costs, costs of repairs, and financial costs, such as appraisal fees, inspection fees, title insurance, and discount points. So, in your experience, Ellen, as a broker, and I know you were an agent at one point in time, how was seller concessions in your experience?
I would say that it was presented more by the selling agents years ago. Now we're in a seller's market. So the selling agents typically want to go in strong with their offers to the listing agents. So we don't see them as much, but depending on if the home has been listed for a while, you can see the active days on market. It might be something that the buyers ask for. The same with if, for example, what Roger was talking about with the roofs in 5 years, you know, life left. It might be that a buyer asks for the seller to replace the roof prior to closing. There are some companies out there that will allow you to go under contract and have the roof put on prior to closing so that they can get insurance and then pay for the roof at closing. So these are things that we're seeing right now because of insurance. It might be that the home has polybutylene plumbing. It's not going to necessarily have the ease of getting the insurance companies to be on board with that. So instead, they're going to ask for seller concessions for repairs for that.
And how is that handled, Trishelle, on the lending side?
On the lending side, it's first handled with the on the purchase agreement. So when you go under the contract, you decide on the terms of that contract, which are how much you're buying the house for, the purchase price. So if it's Florida, it might be a $400,000 house we're buying.
Hmm.
We say how much we're putting down based on the loan product we choose. And then at the end, you ask for whatever you want in order or need in order to close this deal. So it might be 2% or 3% in closing costs. It may be $10,000 in order to get the roof repaired. It may be 1% in order to buy down points to get a lower interest rate. It's just whatever the buyer needs in order to close that deal. And
Mm.
it really takes a strong realtor that's really comfortable with negotiating. If the realtor is comfortable with negotiating and they, are confident that they can get this done, then you have a better shot at it.
Mm.
I
So that
I just
realtor, it
had a
sounds like,
I just had a question pop up of if
yes,
we
Roger.
would
Yep.
issue a policy with a
Oh, hold on
escrow
one
hold.
second, Roger. I'm
Right.
about to get to it in just a second. So I was just thinking about what you were just saying, Trishelle, that the realtor being on the front lines. If you guys imagine like the battlefield of really trying and pushing to get the best for the seller and the buyer, like you're saying, Trishelle, us as realtors ought not limit ourselves. I know that we don't have the liberties that you have as a mortgage officer with your training and your license and things. But I think the more that we talk with our village, the more that we share with our village, I get a better understanding as to how to be on the front lines, with this buyer and with this seller. And that's going to be very vital through the process because I'm fighting for you in the good sense. I'm fighting to get you the best price as buyer. I'm fighting to make sure that when we do our inspection, everything was looked at. If the seller said that they were going to fix something during our final walkthrough, it has been fixed. So, real estate agents who are out there listening to you guys out there who are new, really take what Trishelle said to heart because it is our job to be that intermediary, to be that intercessor for our buyer and our seller. And so, really, I thank you for that, Trishelle. So, Roger, yep, we do have a question that came in for you. So, Roger, will your company issue a policy with an escrow hold for roof replacement?
Well, we issue a policy that does not cover the roof. There's different forms of insurance. So we issue a policy that does not cover the roof. And once the roof is done, then we'll rewrite the policy with a company with a new wind mitigation that shows that and a new 4 point that shows that. And then we'll write it into a regular policy after the fact. But initially, yeah, that'll be a different policy with less coverage on there. But then again, most underwriters are not aware of all these different types of policies, though. So they will actually issue it. They'll underwrite the loan anyway.
They'll underwrite it anyway. And
Right.
this is really important, Roger, what you're saying, because you have more, of course, experience in this area, but insurance can stop a deal from happening, correct?
Correct.
Have you had that experience a lot?
No, we always came up with a solution to actually and talk to the underwriters and got it resolved and then be able to move forward.
Awesome. I do have another question about insurance. Thank you, Team Anthony,
Mhm.
for your question. Renee and Dominic, I'm so excited and appreciative to be on their team. And Shane, how you doing? Just wanted to give that quick shout out right there. So JD, when an insurance closes down and homeowners are left without insurance, does the company reimburse this when an insurance closes down? Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. So the companies that you just spoke about who are closing and they close down, is that homeowner left without insurance?
Actually, when they pull out, yes, but if there's a claim, it's actually transferred. It goes into receivership if their companies are going broke. So there'll be somebody else that'll be handling that claim for them. If they're not going broke and they're just pulling out, then it's basically that it'll be based on their non-renewal. So they will just have no policy once that policy expires, at which time we just get them another policy. So um, and then if the if they don't have everything all the I's dotted and T's crossed, then we actually have to put them in policies where they have to be in with less coverage till they actually get those fixed, and then we rewrite them into better policies with better premiums.
And the
So
reason for that is, Roger, and I believe Trishelle as well, is because when you apply for your loan and an insurance is a requirement, when that company moves, it's required that you have a consistent policy with no lapse, correct, Trishelle?
Correct. So if you don't get and you can choose your own insurance. And if you don't choose one, then the mortgage company will give you something called force placed insurance, which is a lot more expensive. So if your insurance company, and this is something that I went through, I have property in Louisiana. We've had a lot of hurricanes, we've had tornadoes. I was dropped from my insurance company because they pulled out of the state of Louisiana. So what that means is when it was time for my insurance to renew, in August, as it does every year, the insurance company that I've been having for the past couple of years is no longer available. So I just had to choose another insurance company. Had I not chosen another insurance company by that deadline, my mortgage company would choose one for me that would be 3 times the cost. So you just choose someone else and go along that way.
I love it. I love it. So I'm great. I'm loving the questions that are coming in, you guys. I thank you all for tuning in live. Please share this on your platforms. I just want to take 2 minutes from my panel right now, and I want to talk for just a moment about Champion for Children Foundation of Highlands County. On the last show, I talked about leading with heart and giving back and doing things to help the community. This particular organization helps individuals who might need $500 of rental assistance. They might need a light bill paid. And with you buying one of the pavers, they actually help this organization to support family resources in Sebring, Florida. So she's on this evening. Please put your contact information in the comments so that we'll be able to get in contact with you if someone wants to donate or someone wants to volunteer for Champion for Children Foundation of Highland County. The numbers on the screen right now. Thank you so much, Chantel Paris, for the work that you do in the community, the outreach that you're doing, being able to help families. If you are in need, please reach out to Chantel. And also, if you are watching and you have a nonprofit organization or a organization you'd like to bring light to in the middle of our show, I'd love to give you guys a shout out because it is truly not just about receiving, but really being able to give. So, Chantel, thank you so much for being on tonight. If you guys want to support her organization or want more information, please put your website, email, Chantel, any way that people can contact you. All right, so back to the show, you guys. Thank you for the live questions that are coming in. So, we were at insurance and we were talking about there not being a lapse. We're going to move on to the next question. Okay, so what's the one thing? I'm going to start with you, Ellen, and we're going to move to you, Trishelle, and then Roger. What's one thing you wish you knew, Ellen, before getting started as a broker? What's something you wish you knew?
That's tough. That you're not going to know everything. Every day you learn something new, and that there's always someone there that you can reach out to, or there should be someone that you can reach out to get help and ask questions along the way.
I love that. That's support.
Mhm.
Because you're in a new role when you go from being a real estate agent to a broker. I'm pretty sure it's a bit of a change there. And just being able to have that support as a broker. Did you have other brokers that you were able to lean on for support when you got your broker license?
Most definitely. And it's just like being a realtor as well. Everybody knows who in the office they can go to for questions. No question is a dumb question. I get asked that all the time. Oh my goodness, I've got a dumb question. And it's not, ask it. So everyone should have a support team.
Support. I
Mhm.
agree. I really do agree. Trishelle, what's something you wish you knew before becoming a loan originator?
Something that I wish I knew before I even get into this business over 20 years ago um, is first of all, it does not take 20% down in order to purchase a home. I think a lot of people are waiting and trying to save 20% in order to get a down payment. And that is not necessary to buy a home. That shouldn't be a barrier to entry to a lot of people. Also, I wish I knew house hacking when I first started to where I could have started building my investment portfolio sooner because I love getting passive income from rental income. It is definitely my retirement strategy. And I wish I would have started it when I was 20 instead of when I was 30.
I love that. Just to have that freedom and to be able to do what you love to do, but to be able to take that time if needed, to be able to take that vacation that we talked about on last week that I still been thinking about all week. So as I digress and come back to the show, Roger, tell us something that you wish you knew before jumping into insurance.
The first thing is trying to find out who really has experience to give advice and who doesn't, because there's a lot of people that actually just give out information without knowing exactly what is required. So,
And I
and I
love
just got
Roger.
back from vacation. I was in Dubai.
Ooh.
Yes, Roger was in Dubai. He just, jumped on the show.
Yeah,
How was Dubai, Roger? Let's take a
actually,
1 minute
uh,
left.
the Dubai is a very, very different city. It's actually a playground for the rich. It's very expensive. Everything is like more expensive than here by at least 30% what we're paying. I mean, it's really nice. It's all set up nice, but what you're paying for it as far as a vacation in the desert in the summer is not a good idea. It was hot. It was so hot. It was 122, but it felt like 150. 122 in the shade and with 100% humidity.
Mm.
So
Just thinking about that, Roger, my face just wants to just fall off right now.
it was hot, but I did get to see the tallest building. I have classmates there, so they took me around and showed me some new stuff. I haven't been there in 10 years, so I haven't seen all the growth. I mean, the growth is tremendous. Right now, they're actually having competition with Saudi Arabia, trying to build a city of their own, just like Dubai, and they're stealing all the people that are coming to work because 90% of the people in Dubai actually is not from the Emirates. They're actually from overseas. And just like that, now Saudi Arabia is trying to do the same thing, trying to hire people at 30% more than what they're being paid in Dubai to actually build what they're trying to do. So something good, something different.
So
So
what a trip. Well, I'm glad that you made it back safely and you're on the
and
show tonight.
three days of jet lag.
3 days of jet lag. Well, we appreciate you for being on tonight. So I do have another question for us, you guys. Thank you, Jay, for your question. Should a potential new home buyer rely on their agent to get educated on the entire home buying process? Yes and no, because if you are, for example, and I'll let my other agents on the line, kind of answer that as well. If you are, let's say, coming from Texas to Florida, and let's say this is due to work, and you have no idea about the Texas market, your employer gave you the address to the building, you do desire to live close, you may lean a little more on that agent because you've never bought there. You don't know the streets, you don't know the market or anything there. So I think leaning on your agent's going to be a lot heavier. But if you're buying where you are, I say talk to some of those who are around you, who you know and trust. Hey, to your cousin, I see that you bought your home 10 years ago. How was the process for you? Of course, it's going to be different 10 years later. Some of your coworkers, oh, I see that you just had a housewarming. What was it like, the buying process? Just to kind of get an initial feel of what it's like to go through it. Then with the agent, with our particular experience and what we should know, agents, homework, what we should know, we should be able to help you through this process and kind of fill in those gaps that you are missing, because you're not going to know all the pieces and parts. I remember when I started to research everyone who was a part of the real estate village, I thought mortgage, title, broker, insurance. No, it's a lot deeper. It's contractor, it's appraisal, it's the roofing company, it's the photography. When you're selling your home, you're going to want to get dynamite photos and iGuide and video and Matterport. There's so many others that are a part of the real estate community that you as a buyer just may not be versed on who they are. So your real estate agent should have some knowledge, not all knowledge, but some knowledge. What's your thoughts, Trishelle?
I think that the definitely your real estate agent, you want to rely on asking a lot of questions about homes, about location, about value, about square footage and materials and the real estate market as a whole when it comes to property. To get educated on the process as a whole, take a first time homeowners class. They're free. You can do it online, you can go in person. Most of the time, if you're looking for a down payment assistance or a grant or something like that, it's a requirement anyway. They're good for 2 years. And you're a first time homeowner if you haven't owned property or lived in property that's in your name for 3 years. So take that class. They'll have representatives there from all walks of the real estate process to be able to answer your questions. They'll give you handouts. That way you are fully breast on the mortgage side of things, the insurance side of things, appraisal, title, realtor. But really rely on your realtor about finding your house, the location of the house, and the value of that house. Rely on your lender about financing, getting pre-approved, closing, owning that home. Rely on your insurance agent to give you information about insurance and insurance quotes. As a mortgage professional, I know nothing about insurance quotes. If I told you and quoting anything about insurance to you or any mortgage professional, they're not telling you the truth. We will refer you to an insurance agent. And the same thing when it comes down to real estate. If you're asking me about a value of a home, I don't have access to the MLS. I will send you to a realtor or send you back to your realtor because that's the place to ask those questions. So, as a realtor, I would think that if a borrower or a buyer is asking questions about financing, you will refer them to their mortgage broker or lender. And if they're asking questions about insurance, you refer them to the insurance agent. That way, the buyer is getting the best information from the expert directly. And we cut out the middleman by working as a village together.
All right, bringing that village
Stay
back
in
in,
my lane.
Trishelle.
I stay in my lane and then I send you to the expert for that advice that you need.
What are your thoughts, Ellen?
Wow. You said it all. And so true. Everybody has their expertise. So, and Trishelle, I really appreciated you saying you don't know certain things. I don't know certain things. And that's why it's my responsibility as an agent to educate the buyers and the sellers and lead them right down the right path. So true.
Yeah, that really was great, Trishelle. Really going toward that expert, and Ask the Agent is an opportunity to showcase different experts. So if for some reason you're out there and you have a lending question, Trishelle has her phone number on the screen. And correct me if I'm wrong, Trishelle, when the show is over, you'll answer their call, won't you?
Yes, I will.
You'll answer your call tonight
It's
if you
my
have a
cell
question.
phone too.
This is her cell phone. And then Roger, the same Roger, we're giving you a lot of grace because of Dubai. You're walking in Dubai, Grace, on tonight. So, thank you for being with us. If you have an insurance question, Roger's going to be your guy. If you need to know, like Trishelle said, about the MLS and the square footage and the homes and the neighborhoods, communities, what's for sale, what's vacant, lot, land. I'm going to be your girl for that. So I thank you guys for your questions that are flowing in tonight. I was thinking about those who are tuned in who might be thinking about investments. Listen, you guys, shoot me your email. My email is sgeorge at watsonrealtycorp.com. I'm going to give that to you again because you're going to need it when I give you the next piece of information. So I'm going to say that again a little slower. S is in Sam, George, as in Curious George, at watsonrealtycorp.com. I am actually compiling a book video tutorial that's absolutely free on how you can retire in 5 years, how you can literally retire through investment in real estate. I have different individuals who are going to I have different individuals who are actually going to contribute to that. I'm actually going to have those who I haven't even asked yet, some people, contribute some of their expertise into it. But how to retire in 5 years. If you want this free guide, go ahead and shoot me your email. In my experience of teaching children, teaching teenagers, and teaching adults, I think it's important to hit on all learning styles. There's going to be words there. There's going to be video in the middle. So it's not a guide and it's not a video, but it's a combination tutorial that I'll send you that's absolutely free for you to see how to get in property, if it's conventional loan, if it's FHA, if it's cash, how to really break into investing. So tonight, let's talk about investing for just a moment. Trishelle, what's been your experience with buying properties? I know you said earlier on you wish you would have known that you can get into a property and under 20% down. Tell us a little bit about investing in your world.
So one way that an investment strategy that I use is called house hacking. And basically, when you're an investor and you want to buy an investment property, that requires 20 to 35% down, depending on how you're buying, if it's residential, commercial, or what have you. But there are ways around that. So it just depends on your first property. What I would have wished I knew way before was that, hey, when you're buying a primary residence, you don't need 20% down. You can have 0% down, depending on what kind of loan product it is. You can have 3 to 3.5% down, or you can use down payment assistance and not have to pay anything down. Um, and you can always move up. I can choose to move out of my house in a year, rent that out as an investment property, and the new house that I'm buying is still my a primary residence. So I don't have to put 20% down or 35% down. I can put 5% down and keep buying properties that way every year to every 2 years with only 5% investment versus 25 and 30%, because down payment is the biggest barrier to entry for most investors. A lot of people don't have 25% down or 20% down laying around, but 5% is something you can gather in a year.
I love that. And I was thinking about, I was doing some research and I was tuned in to TikTok University. And what I learned on TikTok University is that they were talking about one young lady does a strategy similar to what you just said, Trishelle, where she literally buys the property for that lower percentage. She stays in it, lives in it, and she literally moves out of it and creates it as her rental and just keeps doing it over and over again. And I think what's important out there, if you guys are looking to gain financial freedom and passive income and cash flow through real estate, is knowing what your number is. What number would it take for you to come off your job? What number do you need to bring in aside from paying the mortgage for that property? What is the amount that will take care of your phone, your lights, your gas, your what is your number? Because for me, the reason why I'm sending you guys this free guide, the reason why I am taking my time to consult with other experts that are experts in their area of hard money lending, FHA, insurance. The reason why I'm compiling all of this great information and giving it to you for free is because I desire to see families build generational wealth through real estate, making sure that that particular house has been placed in a trust so that if something happens to you, that'll be able to pass to your family versus going to court and going through probate. So this particular free guide, you guys, is really going to be power packed with more than just information from myself, but I'm actually pulling in those from my village and pulling in great information that'll be compiled together to show you how you can retire in 5 years. Sharina, will it take 5 years? You can get this, you can retire faster should you have the funds, the down payment, like Trishelle said. Some people can buy one home, maybe some people can buy five, depending on the situation that you're in. But it's going to be that real estate agent on the front lines to make sure you're buying a home that is appropriate to fix and flip, vacation home, Airbnb. What is it that you want the property for? Ellen, are you an investor?
I am not. Well, I take that back. Investor of sorts because of helping family. So
I like that. And I was telling my family, like, listen, family, I'm going to be your bank. So we got to sign on the dotted line. So I desire to become a bank in the sense of the word, to be able to help my family achieve that dream of having that first home. And like you said, Trishelle, maybe they don't have the down payment right now. Maybe they don't have the funding, but to be able to fund that for them to get them started and kind of get the ball rolling. And don't forget, you guys, if you're out there and you're looking to become a real estate agent, realtor, Ellen is your gal. I'm going to put her information on the screen right now. You can go ahead and contact Ellen. There's her number. There's her email, you guys. Beautiful profile photo. Let's make sure our profile photos are, that's a whole nother topic.
We love new and experienced agents. We don't discriminate. We love everybody. And
New and
it's
experienced.
just the fact that we love the people who have the energy and the drive.
Yes, yes.
That's our whole office. It's awesome.
So, Roger, my Dubai traveler, do you have any experience in investing in real estate?
Yes, I have actually several houses. But now I invest in businesses. So I'm an entrepreneur. So I have several businesses that I'm investing in. So you have to even the investment plate with different products. You can't just do certain things. You can't just rely on one thing. You actually have to fill all the buckets. Most of us, we don't have $1 million sitting over there, so you actually have to work a little at a time. And I did buy my first house, rented it, sold another one, bought another one. Then I'm down to like three houses now, so I will get back into it once the market changes, and hopefully the my other business takes off a lot more by the end of the year. Then we'll actually have more funds to talk about to be able to do that. So, but I do have two other businesses getting ramped up to actually go online probably by the end of next year. So
Awesome.
now
Awesome.
it's just
Diversifying
marketing.
the
Yes.
portfolio, and something that I learned from TikTok University. I don't know if I'm being a spokesperson or what's happening here, but
Yeah.
TikTok University is that a gentleman was talking about how lucrative laundromats are, you guys. If you guys are out there and you're looking, you're writing down your street in your local community, maybe you aren't here in Florida, maybe you're in another state, and you see a laundromat for sale, and maybe you and some family members want to kind of come together on the business ventures, vet all the families that sign, but you want to come together on a business venture. I definitely heard that investment in laundromats can be, extremely lucrative. So I like what you said, Roger, about kind of diversifying the portfolio. It is my desire to own a hotel. It is my desire to own a pizza place, and not just home. So you guys, when you're thinking about real estate out there and being able to build financial wealth for your family and for those that are coming after you, don't just think homes, diversify that a bit. So I want to thank you guys for being on tonight. I want to thank you for being my guest. Thank you to all of those who tuned in tonight. Thank you, Ask the Agent. We're on Mondays, 6 to 7. Listen, we binge watch Netflix, Hulu, and all of these shows that really don't add a lot of value to us. but once a week for 1 hour on Mondays. We appreciate your time and being able to come here to get your real estate answers to your questions. So at this time, as we close up, I want each of my guests to just share a little bit of their reason why, while we're coming to the end of the show. The reason why I am a real estate investor, a realtor who's passionate about real estate investing, is because when I was younger, I grew up in a family, you guys, that didn't know ownership. You know, we were always renting. We were always subject to the landlord. I didn't know what the home buying, selling process was. We rented most of my childhood. And when I became married and I became an adult and I was able to purchase my first investment property, my eyes opened like, wow, if I can get 5 to 10 of these, I can have an option to work in corporate America. I won't be required to grab up a job, but I can take care of my children and still have money coming in, still have cash flow, and be able to enjoy my time with my family. So I want to see other families thrive. Certainly, some of you guys are in jobs that you want to be in, podiatry and doctors and lawyers. And sometimes you're in a field that you really love. And then sometimes you want that freedom. You want that time. And so if that's something that you desire, please send me your email, sgeorge at Watson Realty Corp. As soon as this particular tutorial is finished, I want to send that to you in the next month or so is when I'm going to be sending that out. So please get on the email list early. But that is a part of my reason why I do what I do on a daily basis. What's your reason why, Trishelle?
My reason why is that, I mean, we live in America and we're taught from a young age that the American dream, a part of that is home ownership, right? But growing up, there may not be many people in your family who own homes or people to teach you how to make that a possibility. Also in America, the majority of the wealth or people who are wealthy through real estate. So if you don't know how to properly purchase a home, if you don't know how to get into the game and become an investor, then you're leaving your opportunity to have that American dream on the table. So the reason why I do this is first for myself, for to build generational wealth and to have financial freedom for myself, and then also for my children. And anything that I do for myself, I share with others. Right? I'm doing it for myself. I can teach you how to do it too.
Awesome. Ellen, tell us your reason why.
My why has been, as a former educator, I wanted to help others. And so I'm able to do that through being a broker. Uh, I have a master's in educational leadership. So I feel like I'm now taking that and being able to help agents with that role. Uh, my whole beginning in real estate came from my father having his broker's license. And then my husband was definitely my supporter and encouraged me to get my broker's license, being that he's in real estate as well. And so it has been taking that and now having our daughter get into real estate. And it's just, building and building, and you can have the freedom, and yet it's all up to you. So,
Yeah, creating your own schedule. That's
mhm.
really great, Ellen. And then Roger, what's your reason why?
Well, I don't want to retire for one, so I keep adding stuff. I'm just I have heavy ADHD, so I don't want to quit. I just like working all the time. So even when I was actually traveling, I was working. Actually, I went for work because part of one of the companies is actually overseas. So it was all work related. It was just a few days that I got to spend with my family. The rest was all work. Of course, I had to work at night over there because the time is different over there. So I had got about 4 hours of sleep every day. So hence the jet lag for 3 days.
So
But
my
it is
next
fun.
challenge,
It is fun to actually be able to help people with the amount of knowledge that I have accumulated over the last 30 years in all the several industries that I work in. It's just like it makes it so much easier for people. I have a lot of people just asking questions. Even my wife won't go out with me because everybody asks me questions. So there you go. So I just like to work.
Well, my next adventure, Roger, is to get a tax professional on Ask the Agent so I can see how I can get a Dubai trip right off. Okay.
I did.
So I can be doing business on my
You
trip.
can. All you have to do is ask a couple of questions about incorporating in Dubai. That's all. And you get to write it off.
I love it, Roger. You made it just like really simple, just simple and straightforward. I love it.
You're
So I thank
doing.
you guys for being
Mhm.
my guest today. Thank you to all of those who tuned in, who shared this out. Thank you to Carlos, who is the CEO of Young Sharks, which is a young organization, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, that host weekly empowerment Zooms and sessions to bring young leaders together between the ages of 18 and 40. And I love all that Carlos is doing in Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, and even spreading further abroad. And listen, even if you are over 40, the events are open to all. So I really appreciate you, Carlos, for allowing us on your Young Sharks YouTube. Thank you so much for all of your staff there that helps to make everything possible. And again, if you guys want that free guide, I'm going to give you my email one more time, sgeorge at watsonrealtycorp.com. Shout out to my team, my associate brokers, Dominic and Anthony, Dominic, Anthony, and Renee Anthony, as well as Shane Spence. I'm so excited to be a part of Team Anthony here at Watson Realty Corp, where Ellen, right here on the screen, is my broker. So I appreciate all of you guys who tuned in tonight. Remember that nonprofit organization information was on the screen. You guys can simply record this live, stays on the YouTube channel. So if you need to record that, screenshot it to get her information, go ahead and do so. So thank you guys so much for your time on this evening. You guys enjoy your evening.
Take care.